Hey, welcome to another discussion about the bosses from SoulsBorne. Up now is Demon Souls, the game that started this merciless franchise we seem to love so dearly. This game's bosses seem fairly rudimentary in retrospect now. Quite a few of the bosses seem gimmicky, which is a trend that has continued throughout the series. However, I do still think that bosses in Demon Souls are great and pretty memorable. Yes, even the easy ones. I find easy bosses can still have a great visual design, so once again, just stressing that easy doesn't necessarily mean bad. Not in my case at least. I still like the following bosses. So, in at number 5 is Phalanx. If you discount Vanguard, Phalanx is the first boss you'll defeat in Demon Souls, so quite fittingly, it has appeared on this list. Phalanx isn't going to offer you any real trouble, and I think by the time even a new player finds it, they'll already be progressed enough with the learning curve this game provides to defeat it in one go. It moves slow, giving you ample time to figure out what to do. The blobs with the shields may pose a slight threat due to the number of them and the spears they throw, but they can easily be taken down with the turpentine you'll find earlier in Boletaria. I mean, if you enjoy exploring, then you're likely to find the turpentine, but even without it you'll be fine. It will just take slightly longer. I like Phalanx though. It's a nice introductory boss. If you felt like Vanguard was just cheap and unfair, then Phalanx will at least give you the confidence to feel like this game isn't totally ridiculous. At number 4, it is indeed Tower Knight. A boss so grand in height and intimidation, but not a lot else. The only thing difficult about Tower Knight is the actual run up to Tower Knight. The bridge that leads up to him is rather brutal. The run up has all the makings of everything that makes Souls difficult. The frustrating doggy eye, the confined environment, a bullshit breathing dragon that never leaves you alone, archers peppering arrows, and a challenging hard hitting knight. If you do make it to the Fog Gate, consider that a victory. Tower Knight himself has a bark worse than his bite. Clear the upper floor with the archers, run back down, attack his ankles till he collapses, then charge onto the head for massive damage. He's kind of like a Zelda boss in that regard. He has a weak spot, and I think that's what I quite enjoy about Tower Knight. It can certainly throw you off your game if you don't know what to do and you're freaking out about how little damage you're doing, but the green steam that releases from his ankles is a nice visual clue to the player that at least you're on the right track. But that's Tower Knight. I think it's a great boss. The giant shield is something to behold, and watch out for that splash damage it creates. But other than that, it's just like the Iron Golem from Dark Souls 1. Run in between his legs and punish his slowness by being as nimble as you can. At number 3 is Adjudicator. Alright, so with Adjudicator, I was really contemplating making this boss number 1 because he is very easy, but if you are unlucky enough to get hit, which I was twice in this footage, then he does actually do considerable damage, so I think that's why I'm going to place him here at number 3. He can hit you hard, but you have so much time to recover, and he is so slow at turning back around and so very bad at tracking you that you don't feel that much under threat. You've got plenty of breathing room to munch on some grass and reposition yourself, and again, another gimmick boss that takes massive damage to the head. It's not knowing the gimmick that may result in losing this fight. Attack his wound, the only part of him that doesn't recoil your attack, and eventually he'll be nice enough to bow down and you can wail on the head. Got to give props once more to the visual design though. They really know how to make some grotesque imagery with a huge tongue and would not look out of place as a boss from a Zelda game. Old Monk is at number 2, and yes, I do realise that this was part of an invasion mechanic that would summon in real players to come fight you, but for offline players the Old Monk isn't even that much of an NPC. I fought NPC invasions that are way harder than the Old Monk, but regardless, it was a very cool idea for people who were playing online, and if they do a remaster for this game on the PS4, then the old monk would certainly become extremely challenging, and I think challenging to a point where it could actually be a real problem. Imagine your invader had stocked up on healing items. You'd be in this boss fight for a very long time. Currently though, even if you were playing online, you may struggle to find anyone to fight you here, as the game was a PS3 exclusive, and quite simply, not a lot of people are playing anymore. And that's the issue with online features. Great upon release, but years down the line it just simply doesn't work. Anyway, back to the actual boss. The run-up to the old monk is the worst. Those Cthulhu-looking bell chimer bitches are just god-awful. Good luck trying to run past them, and good luck trying to kill them. Either approach method is dicey as all hell. Okay, so at number 1 is Dirty Colossus. There was so much competition in this list, a number of bosses could have been number 1. But I guess I'm going to settle with Dirty Colossus as being the easiest. Let's look at the bare bones facts of this fight. The arena is massive, you have so much room to manoeuvre around this thing that dodging the attacks isn't a problem. The attacks are generally quite slow, so you have ample time to read what's happening. And even if it does hit you, the damage is barely anything. Adjudicator in comparison has a much more devastating attack. Colossus seems rooted to the spot, completely paralysed by your ever-growing superiority. So just circle round and hit the big thing until the big thing no longer exists. Job done. Can't say I like the design too much of this one, it's just a monstrosity of parts cobbled together to resemble something rather bland looking. But that's it anyway, another list in the can. Honestly, this list was kind of a head scratcher to make because there are other bosses I could have listed here. Shoutouts to Old Hero, a boss that can be made trivialised by wearing the Thief's Ring. Wear it next time you fight him. He's blind, and when wearing this he literally can't see you. It's amazing. Gotta mention Storm King. Hide in the building and the manta rays can't hit you. Their stingers just hit the wall, threat neutralised. Now you just have to be patient and use your Storm Ruler to whittle away at the health bar. Another shout out to Penetrator, who, when fighting alone, is just as every bit as challenging as every other fast moving boss a la King Alant. But with your summoned friend Bior, he can pretty much take care of Penetrator as you watch on in merriment. However, I didn't want to include these bosses because I regard these strategies as massive cheese methods, and that just didn't seem fair. It would be like calling Capra Demon easy because you can cheese him with fire bombs. Doesn't seem right. Oh, and I didn't mention the blob King Alant because how can you take that thing seriously? It'd be too boring to even discuss. So, let's finish this by saying Demon Souls is certainly a real treasure, and please stay tuned for the next list, which will be Dark Souls 1 easy bosses. So, thank you for watching.